That's funny. All right. Serenade people and shit. How do you know who that is? What the fuck? Nah, but welcome all back. Welcome back to Talks with Jay and Zay, the podcast where we talk about any and everything. It could be about your mama. It could be about your sister. It could be about my own mom. I don't have a sister, but it could be about everybody in this goddamn world. And I'm Zay, by the way. I'm the brash one and the chaotic planner.
And yeah, I'm a little bit more organized. I'm Jay. I actually got a topic in mind for today. Isaiah and I spent some time this week watching a series on Netflix that I was like, oh man, that's just so fitting for what we're about to talk about the next time we go podcast. So that said, I want to talk about adverse childhood experiences, and I just want to like see what Isaiah thinks of that topic. What comes to mind?
Just kids that got beat with a switch, beat with a dustpan, beat with a broom, and now they're traumatized by their own upbringing because the black household still use slave techniques.
Is it only in black households, or I mean,
Probably Latino households too.
to be honest, the people who are probably using slave techniques are not black.
Well, I'm saying we inherently will do harm to ourselves. Well, do harm to people that look like us because of slavery.
Hmm.
So that's why a lot of kids have a lot of adverse. What's it?
Adverse childhood experiences,
Okay,
or
so
you could call it ACEs for short if it's easier to remember.
adverse childhood experience. Yeah. So when your mom beat you with a switch, she learned that because her mom beat her with a switch.
Right.
When your dad beat you, like when black parents beat your ass like really, really bad, is because they only learned that from their parents and their parents' parents. That should tell y'all how close we are to slavery. You niggas are child abusers out here.
Unfortunately, so in so many words, like that, that's not far from the truth. Adverse childhood experiences, as kind of Isaiah was alluding to, is about one form of it is physical abuse, emotional abuse. That's like if you got yelled at, which again, in
Or if your mom called you a hoe.
yeah, or if you were talked down to or demeaned in any way, that would be emotional abuse as
Your
well.
mom called you a hoe because you was fast. You probably wasn't fast. You just probably developed a little quicker than the other girls, and your mom knew that she seen the hoe in you because she was a hoe before.
So, I mean, that one
It's
in and of
just
itself could lead to the
true.
last one, which is sexual abuse and not having someone around to protect you from that by just not calling you fast, but showing you, how to take care of yourself and how to interact with others so that you don't get taken advantage of.
Mom, stop being hoes out there. So your daughter won't be a hoe with you. Now, if y'all want to be hoes together, be hoes together. That's all I'm saying, goddammit.
But that is not, we are not encouraging that because
Hey, if I see it too,
we are
if a
encouraging
daughter,
generational curses being
you didn't,
broken.
did you see that one video where the daughter and the mom were like sleeping with the same dude?
Oh my.
All right, anyways, go on.
That sounds very incestual.
Let's never mind. Were they white? No.
Mm.
I be wanting to blame a lot of freak shit on white people, but there be some niggas out here that dirty as hell.
I wouldn't be surprised because nothing is off limits for any race these days. So,
Yeah, because I'm not black no more. I'm a Moor.
oh my,
Saying
what's a more?
you gotta do your research.
Do some research.
But
You ain't the only one out there. Anyway, back to the topic. Um, so yeah, I feel like emotional abuse isn't far fetched in a lot of different cultures as well. Like we were just saying, whether you were yelled at or whether you were talked down to, um, you might be able to resonate with that kind of treatment. And then what does that mean for you? What does it mean to have these experiences? And I think that's why I wanted to talk about the show, because we see this guy who his mom was being abused, which is, again, a form of ACEs. If you are in a household where there's dysfunction, like that means maybe one of your parents has a mental illness, like they're schizophrenic or they're depressed.
or your mom's a crackhead hoe.
Right. If she abuses drugs, that could be another, maybe she's self-medicating or whatever, but
With a lot of crack.
that is her way of dealing with her mental illness or whatever. That is going to cause you to have a very traumatic household, and trauma in and of itself in the household, which is what one thing we focus on, is going to cause for struggles in your relationships as you get older. Just whether subconsciously or consciously, you will likely sabotage those relationships. So
We gotta start. We got next podcast. We're gonna bring on some people who are struggling with relationships. Well, we won't label them as struggling with relationships. I do want to bring on like whores on the show though.
I think we should bring on women who maybe.
I wasn't saying women are whores. I'm saying men and women.
I think we should bring on women maybe who can relate to what we were just saying, like their mom maybe called them a whore and how that impacted them. Maybe, I don't know if men, like, do fathers call their sons whores? I don't think so, but maybe they get demeaned in other ways. I don't know, and we should bring them on too, just to see like their thoughts.
Men ain't really labeled whores.
It's very seldom.
That's because
women
we can't get pregnant.
Women call men whores, but men amongst men don't call themselves like whores.
No, we call each other like, we be like, you on some hoe shit, or damn, you got bodies. Then we like hug each other because we are sexually active.
Oh, that sounds terrible. No wonder
I was just playing. That was a funny.
No wonder you guys are
all crazy.
All messed up because you just encourage that shit.
No, we do encourage our friends to like self-destruct.
Yeah,
I like it though.
I'm sure you do.
It's fun when you watch like your homeboy like fuck dozens upon dozens upon dozens of women that he doesn't like or care for. Mm-hmm. It's fun to just see him have like drama in his life. Yeah.
Well, I think, again, that is a part of them growing up in a household where they saw that, because now you live for that. Like, if that's missing in your life, you don't understand, like, what's going on. Like, so you have to create that or recreate that in a sense, too, because you've seen your parents do it. So you're just recreating that for your life because you think that's how life should go. So I think there's so many different like breakdowns to adverse childhood experiences. Like if your parents were divorced or separated, what impact is that? And that could be whether you're a man or a woman, you've experienced your parents separating. What effect did that have on you? So I agree. Like the next show, we're definitely going to bring people in and see if you can relate to that. Like what effect do you think that's had on
you? That's a terrible single mom joke, but yeah.
How you have relationships. A what joke?
Single mom.
Oh, please don't do that. They're going to come for you.
My mom's a single mom.
It don't give you the right.
It gives me the right. I'm a fucking expert at this shit.
You're not an expert.
I
Your
am. I was a
experience-
single child to a single mom, so I'm an expert on saying what I think single moms are.
Your experiences,
No,
your experiences, it's just it's significant to you. Like it's.
but I mean, it's a joke about single moms. It's very fire.
I think it's not gonna be fire. So let's.
It's probably derogatory, but hey, they deserve it.
No, don't.
I'm really just playing.
Don't
Like,
trigger
people don't
anyone.
be understanding how much I be playing. Like if you understand personalities with TV or radio, then you understand that they playing a character.
You are a character.
I am, because I'll say this in real life too, but I'm really joking about. I love joking about single parents. Like that Kevin Hart movie where he became a single parent. The funniest shit ever.
That movie was supposed to be serious, but I feel you because
It was funny
Kevin Hart.
because it's like, damn, I know I would give that little nigga up.
Okay. We need to get a little deeper into the conversation. Don't you see what happens when you give your kid up? The worst case scenario is
They become a serial killer?
Dang, spoiler alert that they can become a serial killer. That is like the worst case scenario.
That's not really bad.
It is bad.
If he killed like the nigga, who are we talking about?
Who are we talking about killing?
No.
Who are we
I'm not
talking
killing
about as a
nobody. I don't
killer?
know about it. Yeah.
I'm
No,
talking
no.
about who are you talking about as
the
the
TV
killer?
show.
Okay, we're talking about You, the show on Netflix.
What's his name?
Dang, you stumped me for a second. Joe.
Joe. If I had a kid like Joe, and he just pops up like, "Hey, Dad," I'm like, "Damn, what you been on?" He's like, "Yeah, you know, I kill people that aren't good people." I'm like, "Oh, so you're just like a soldier in America on U.S. soil. Salute.
Salute.
The fuck? I'm not gonna be mad at him as long as he don't try to kill me. Then we go blow for blow, and then I'll kill my son.
Right. I think
He's
the
like-
the point of
it's all
Joe's
jokes.
story
Sort of.
that ties into this thing. It's like I said, his mom was abused. So he ended up being a killer because he got tired of his mom being abused by his dad and he killed his dad.
Oh, I was really confused on how they kept flashing back.
Yeah.
God damn, that was stupid.
I mean, that's what I'm getting from the flashbacks. Like,
Or was there a boyfriend?
was it her? There was no boyfriend. I didn't see a boyfriend. Like,
The dude he killed, was that his dad? It wasn't really.
well, I guess we don't know if it's his dad or if it's his mom's boyfriend. Either way, the point is if your mom is being domestically abused by
Kill that
whoever,
nigga.
you are going to feel some type of
Oh.
way, and that is going to traumatize you. Just witnessing that,
I thought you was going to say you killed a nigga that's abusing your mom.
I mean, hey. So I think that is enough to push somebody. I mean, clearly.
Yeah.
To take them out because they're just so angry. And then the way he goes about the rest of his relationships in life, he just has this over obsession to where he then is killing all these other random people. I mean, that's just not
Were they
healthy.
random?
They weren't random, but I mean, the way he's killing them and why he's killing them is
So
kind of like,
it was his adoptive father. Just looked it up.
oh, does it matter? It doesn't matter whether they're adoptive or biological. It's just like the person that your parents with. It could have been a woman for all whatever. If they wanted to write the story that way, it could have been a woman. Like,
Now,
she was-
he was going to kill a lesbian.
he's killed other women though.
But that would have been too controversial.
Okay.
You can't kill lesbians.
Okay,
It's a hate crime.
Maybe that's why they wrote the story the way they wrote it in a heterosexual
LGBTQ.
way, because they didn't want to, get canceled or have the LGBTQ community upset with them. I understand that. Like,
They'd be marching with I'm out there doing.
They are they're not for that, and I
Marching
think
with dildos.
but I think at the same time, don't they want their representation? I mean, his childhood could have been that. It could have been, you know, his mom was dating a woman and she was abusive to her.
I mean, yeah, they could definitely write that, but they were like, they killed a lesbian. You would have seen a bunch of butch studs outside of Netflix with corduroy shirts on and flannels. All right, I'm done.
Yo, you gotta stop, man.
You know, that's how
You
white
got one person in mind when you describing that outfit.
that's how white lesbians, butch lesbians look. You be like, dear Lord, you really look like a.
Sounds like a lumberjack. Like,
Yeah, they look like
please
a
don't.
lumberjack or what do you call it? Or for some reason a wrestler. And he's just like, I see why you became what you are. My bad. I love the LGBTQ community. I identify with them.
Okay. I'm glad you can identify with them to hope you, and I hope that saves you from them coming for you because
Oh, they come for there.
they gonna come for you regardless.
I had a very gay joke that I wanted to get off, but let that live.
So on the extreme end, you're Joe and
Yeah.
potentially a murderer, but I mean, there's other like little effects that could happen to anyone if you were in that environment growing up. Like you have an increased risk of not wanting to be physically active, or you know, increased risk of using drugs, or being obese, having mental health issues yourself, wanting to kill yourself, like things like that. Because you ultimately, when you see those kinds of things, when you had a traumatic life, you need to get help. And I'm always here to promote getting help and having multiple ways to cope with things. So, you know, I think it's funny that in the show, Joe goes to counseling, but of course, at counseling, he can't be honest. Him and his wife sitting at counseling, they can't be honest because they're whole murderers. Like,
What was her childhood like? Just
so,
was she fucking her brother?
no.
Oh,
Her brother was a drug addict.
Well,
Again,
this is very
listen,
weird.
look,
She,
this
like,
is the
drinking.
cycle. Oh my gosh, this show did such a good job of showing what the patterns of, you know, abuse look like, and the cycles of trauma, what they look like, because their mom was an alcoholic and in a really weird relationship and ended up getting a divorce. Who knows if that was only like her first divorce or if it had been multiple divorces, because it kind of was elusive with that. But
Only white women can get multiple divorces, and then uppity Negroes.
yeah, the funny part is every time she was getting a divorce with someone, it's like she was leveling up, and that is definitely like a white woman's sport.
I know some
Black women,
whitewashed black women that do that.
whitewashed black women can do it. Probably Hispanic women.
Oh, definitely.
You know, honestly, women have a good advantage with that in general, I would say.
Yeah, because y'all get pregnant.
I mean, okay, she had 2 kids one at one time. They were twins. Like,
That's all
she
she
wasn't.
had?
Yeah, it's like she didn't even have to. After a while, you so smart, you don't even have to get pregnant again. You just learn how to get married and then divorce and
The
get.
brother and sister relationship gave me incest vibes.
Okay, I mean they were twins. I guess twins are supposed to be close, and then
No.
that doesn't change if you're the opposite sex kind of twins.
Interesting.
I mean, maybe they did cross a line.
If you had twins, go on.
So, yeah, her childhood wasn't no better. And I mean, she being the twin that wasn't addicted to drugs, was taking care of her brother a lot, and kind of like what you see when your parents are in an abusive relationship, you're one of the siblings has to step up and take care of the other siblings, so they kind of become parentified. I think that made her more susceptible. Like, what would you say is her deal? Like, does she have a mental health issue, or Like, cause she just enjoyed killing too a lot. And again, spoiler alert: if you haven't seen the show, you gotta watch that before, and don't be mad at me because
He
it's such a good
became
show.
he was an apex predator, and then she became an apex predator.
Oh, okay.
And two apex predators cannot coexist.
I know he's
So
proved that. I won't
he
say
had
nothing
to.
more.
She
He
almost got
proved
him out
that.
the paint, but he got her out the paint.
Cause yeah, there can only be one apex
He
predator.
could have left with his child though.
Yeah, I think I would have liked that, but at the same time, I think again his dysfunction, like his level of dysfunction, is like
It's like, what's it called? It's like Alzheimer's mixed with Down syndrome.
now. Isaiah, do you know exactly what those diseases look
Yeah, I
like?
know. But I'm saying, like, picture this: like, if someone had Alzheimer's and Down syndrome, it'd be too severe of a case for somebody to deal with. That's what he is.
Mm.
I'm not saying he has Down syndrome or Alzheimer's. I'm like, both of those are so, like, sometimes so severe that if it's in one person, there's no helping that person. You gotta put them down.
I don't think he has either of those things. In fact, like I would say his
IQ's a genius.
his deal, yeah, because he's smart as heck, and I think the reason why he's so crazy is because he didn't feel love as a child. Once his mom got rid of him, he grew up with those other kids, and they probably had to fight a lot because that's just what happens when you're in a congregate setting as a boy. And
Or, never mind.
I hope he wasn't going to make a rape joke because that's not funny.
It wasn't a rape joke. It was more so a
A
gay joke.
molestation joke?
Gay joke. Gay joke. Gay joke. Gay joke. I don't make those type of jokes on the podcast.
Good.
That is for in person only.
Yeah, because you got to read the room on that one. This ain't that.
Nah, he would have liked that.
Okay, we'll tell him off air. Tell him later.
I'm sorry. It was just funny. It came to my head like magic.
That's so yeah. Anyway, I think again his issue is just his broken childhood and doing whatever he has to survive.
Joe is like Robin.
Robin, as in Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. Why Robin?
Because Joe wants to save people. Robin wants to save people. Robin can save his family. Joe can save his mom. Well, I guess he saved her, but she knew that he was a psychopath, so she left him. So he didn't save her shit. And Robin kills people.
Robin is a vigilante.
Yeah, Joe's a vigilante too.
He's not really a vigilante because vigilantes go after people who do mass like crime. He's concentrated on like taking out the people that are hurting the newest person he's obsessed about.
Yeah, like maybe your homegirl ain't really your homegirl. He took her out. That bitch need to go. One way or the other. You wasn't gonna let her go, so he had to make you let her go. That's a good person for you. He's a vigilante. That's
I guess in its own way, it's kind of vigilante-esque, but it's kind of also just psychotic. Like, there's conversations you could try to have with people, like maybe she's not for you as a friend. Have her come to that decision on her own to, like, not be friends with them.
Some women can't do that.
Instead, he's just like, gotta take her out. Gotta take him out every time he turned around. So I don't know.
He did do a girl a favor by killing her ex-husband.
That was the most vigilante-esque thing he did.
That was fire.
All the other ones outside of that kind of were like a crime of passion, if you will.
That's what vigilantes do. They don't have superpowers. It's just crimes of passion.
But it's on a massive scale. Like the people they're
Batman
killing
is a nigga in a suit that knows karate. If he hit me, that's a crime of passion and a hate crime because he's white.
oh. What if it's a black Batman?
That won't ever exist. You talking
Like-
about Black Panther?
We like to dream.
Black Panther has a super serum. He would beat the brakes off of Batman. He would beat that nigga so bad he would die. Don't disrespect Black Panther, please. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I wasn't trying to say
just
Black
fucking around.
Panther. I was like, we need a equity amongst our superheroes.
No, we don't. We need to keep them white if they were white.
Oh yeah.
I'm conservative in that. You make my superhero black and that nigga was never a nigga. Please don't do that. I'm gonna be white right with the KKK members and the Trump supporters protesting the movie.
Cause it ain't.
I'm not with that fuck shit.
Cause it's not.
Leave them niggas out that movie, goddammit. We don't
We need our own movies then.
Yeah, we don't need to see niggas being Superman. I'm gonna protest that shit. We don't need to see a black gay Superman. I'm gonna protest that shit.
Yeah,
Be right with the Trump supporters. Take the nigga off the screen.
that's a little far, but I feel ya.
I'm playing. I'm sorry. That shit just gets me like right here in my heart when I see they turn white white characters into black characters to, for some reason, appease the masses. Like, no one's appeased. I'm never appeased when they do that. The only black superhero in DC was the Green Lantern, and there's a slew of other ones. Martian the Manhunter, he black, because he came to Earth and he was like, these the most lit niggas, and became a black person. So, and I think aliens are niggas.
Okay,
My bad. Tangents.
that's okay.
Big tangents.
It connected though. I feel your sentiment with Joe and Robin kind of
Yeah.
sharing their vigilante
Joe really is like,
qualities.
he's who Batman should be.
Okay.
Batman be
Well,
upset.
he needs, actually no. Let's not say that because he needs to get a little bit more training in martial arts or something. Because
he
can't
did
be.
get his ass
You
whooped.
can't be getting. Well, this was the first time, but you can't be having somebody go somewhat toe to toe with you, because
If you're a
that
serial
could have
killer.
almost been the end of him.
Well, I mean, he doesn't like work out or nothing.
From what we've seen so far, but season 4 is coming, and I'm excited for that.
I wonder when.
It was a good show though, and it was a good show in that it connected with our topic for tonight. So
a lot
well.
of.
There was, I mean, it showed a kid growing up in a group home environment and how that plays out after seeing violence in his home. So I think it really describes how
Ooh, isn't.
this nigga is really sneaky because he's always had to be sneaky. You know, like he's like he just doesn't socially get along with no one. He doesn't care to have friends. Like he's just very transactional in his interactions with anyone he met.
Did the relationship between his wife and the 19-year-old trigger you?
Wait,
And you?
what? Whose wife was 19 years old?
I said his wife and the 19-year-old.
Oh my. Well,
That made me think about the little bitches that went to high school and dated 30-year-old niggas.
you know, that was interesting. Honestly, if you didn't say that, I think I would have let that slip right by me. But
I was like, no, it's just reverse.
I don't know if I would say it was triggering.
You know, you had friends in high school.
Well, I can't remember how old that girl was. But I
Who?
mean, I guess,
His wife?
yeah. How old was she?
Um,
I guess, does it not matter? Like, if he's only 19 and you are what age? Like 25 or older, you probably shouldn't be messing with him. Because I'm sure she was older than 25.
let's see here.
I think the only thing that's triggering about it is that she took advantage of how
He's 30.
she was 30
Yeah. So
and he was 19. Yeah, I think that's very inappropriate.
damn, they have a 27-year-old playing a 19-year-old. This I hate TV so much. We are so fucked. Programmed like a mother. That's crazy. Why can't they have a 19-year-old play a 19-year-old?
I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, we just was talking about how triggering it was for them to act like the 19-year-old was with a 30-year-old woman. So it would be really weird if they just allowed teens to act in those roles for real.
How is it weird? You're already thinking that it's 17, so you like that, or 19. You're like, damn. Never mind. Anyways, but that triggered me because I was like, dang, that really reminded me of like when you get people who were teenagers bragged how they was dealing with somebody that was deep into their adulthood.
Like 26, 27 or older, and it's just like, that's just not right. I mean, people think you're an adult at 18.
Like, you're a victim. I always thought them girls were victims. I was like, you just...
I think we always got to remember, if there's a 7-year gap, that's exceeds the limit, like, for sure. 4 years is...
I can date...
There's nothing really relatable in 4 years' time, so I can only imagine 7 years' time. It's like...
I cannot date a chick that's 20 years old.
I'm talking about PlayStation 2, like 3, and you on the PlayStation 5. Like, we just not the same.
That's like a 18-year difference.
I mean, but still.
Nah. Damn, when did the PS3 come out?
The PS3
I know I was in middle school.
The PS3 was hot for so long.
Since the PS4 came out.
I'm just saying that's probably what the person that
I get what you're saying.
30 can relate to, and that the 19-year-olds over here wanting the PS5 and talking about, oh, it don't take disc. Like, they looking at each other.
Everybody
like,
wants. I need a PS5. If anybody knows anybody with a PS5, selling it for. By the time this drops, I'll probably have a PS5. But if you listen to this, I want a PS5 for $600 if you can do that.
Okay. Hopefully somebody make that happen.
I'll give you my firstborn son's middle name.
Isaac, he's on offering to let people name.
If someone buys me the Sony A7 IV, I'll give you my firstborn's kid's name. I don't care if it's a girl or a boy. You can name them. You can name them Vivica Fox. You can name them Journey. You can name them Akbar. You can name them Tony Soprano. I don't give a fuck. Give me that camera and you can have my firstborn kid's name. They ain't that important. They should change it when they want to.
We'll see about that. I don't know about that.
I'm sorry. I want that camera so bad.
But yeah, that wasn't triggering. I think it was more. Here's what was triggering for me about it. She was married, and she was trying to act like if Joe cheated on her, it was the end of the world, and she would take somebody out over that, like literally take them out. So that's what was triggering for me. Like, you gotta go both ways with it. You can't be a hypocrite.
I was really surprised that couple didn't die.
Yeah, that was.
That kind of pissed me off.
It was amazing how they didn't die.
Because I really don't like black and white couples.
I think. What if she was also mixed?
You still belong to us, damn it. Now, if you say you're mixed before you say you're black, then you're mixed. And you're POS.
I was kind of like, I was expecting them not to die. So
I'm sorry, bro.
If they would have died, that would have been more shocking to me. But
it wasn't shock. It was shocking that they didn't. They didn't die.
I was just like, what were they gonna do if they didn't die? So once they didn't die, I was like, okay, are they gonna try to go after them? Because That's what I would think.
No,
They was
that's
like,
a
no, they
traumatic
was like,
event.
we already know them two crazies. We don't want anything to do
But
with them.
they fake, I mean, once you fake your death, it's like, yeah, who cares?
Yeah, and then they just capitalized off of it. So there was like, we made it back in terms of
I was
money
really
and
surprised
emotional trauma that we went through. Like,
and
it's
became
all in the
rich.
past because we got the money and the bag after that. Like, we're good.
I'm really surprised the dad or the son didn't get killed neither. There's a bunch of surprisingly not surprised deaths. I was like, man.
Yeah, no, I was glad that they didn't get killed. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe his son tells him like who actually killed his wife or whatever. But
She's dead now, so it doesn't really
I'm like,
matter.
at this point,
They all think it was her that was doing. She was doing majority of the fuck shit.
yeah, it was
I think
honestly her fault.
Yeah, he didn't. He only did one thing that wasn't actually bad.
Yeah. Are you saying like the
Killing of the
old boy?
Yeah, that wasn't really that bad. He was a dick. And
Yeah,
white
he
men
had
sometimes
it coming
deserve
to
to get
him.
out the paint. Not even sometimes. Most of the time, they gotta get out the paint.
His ability to
If they're
start
dicks,
over,
if they cool though, you know what I mean. There's about 10% of white men that are cool.
his
The other-
ability, Joe's ability to start over is just what blows me the most. Like,
Yeah, Joe. I would hang out with Joe. And I'll tell him like, "Hey, this person is treating me bad."
Joe becomes a hitman.
Yeah, like, he
Season
don't even want
4.
money for doing that shit. I'm like, yo, I like you. I need to keep you around me. I need you to make people I don't like disappear.
He's like, got it. Say no more.
I wish you was like that.
No thanks.
I'm just. They just said, see, I need loyalty like that. God damn it. No one has true raw loyalty that like turns into violent rage.
To be honest, no one gets away with that much murder. It's like, that's why it's TV.
No, they do.
I don't know. I mean,
They be
he
finding
picks
it
up
is
and he
80 years
moves,
later
So
after-
I don't know. He
They
picks
just
up and
found the nigga
moves.
that killed like 100 women after 80 years. And the nigga's like decrepit, so it didn't matter. Like, fucking, what's his name? Bill Cosby allegedly raped 70 women. And now it's just catching up to him. Like, people get away with a lot of shit. It's just, if it's your time, if it's your ticket that needs to be pulled, we don't pull your ticket. They know majority of what's going on.
Yeah.
That's why, never mind.
Can't get away with much these days.
You can. I'm living proof.
Okay.
Yeah, subscribe to my OnlyFans, where I tell you how to get away with shit. It's $30 a month, and I'll tell you how to. You know what I mean, for $150 an hour. OnlyFans, Zay Talk.
Zay Talk. He's silly.
Nah, I don't have OnlyFans. I wish I should make one.
Anyway,
OnlyFans ain't just for fucking.
I know. I'm like, making OnlyFans. I don't know about that. It's kind of like,
People would
It's
assume that I
corrupted.
was doing that though.
I think you would actually be getting some people who would want to hear your advice on how to get away with shit. Because you're pretty slick. But
I get away with a lot of stuff.
the
It's
moral of the
crazy.
story is,
My life
I'm
is
so
a
looking
movie.
forward to season 4. And
I know, when did season 3 end though?
what?
I don't know when season 3 actually ended.
I don't know. Because I think that this show was it was a show that used to come on TV, but now I think it's just owned by Netflix.
Yeah.
So they just roll it out when they roll it
They
out.
can probably roll it out whenever they want.
But it's going to be good to watch. So if you haven't seen it, tune in, catch up, and look out for season 4. But just to go back to adverse childhood experiences, I think another one that's like really big is if you had a parent or someone that was incarcerated in your household, And I think that, especially black and brown people can relate to that. And those are the kind of things that you don't even realize how that's going to affect you and how it could have health impacts later on in life. But the moral of the story is to take care of yourself, continue to exercise, continue to try to eat right, continue to try to talk to people, to work on your mental health as well as your physical health. And through doing those things, you can be overall well-rounded and just add more years to your life, which is adverse childhood experiences is what takes time off of our life. It's like there's like a 20-year window that is like a shorter lifespan for those who had significant trauma growing up. So to all those out there that can relate to that, I just hope you hear this message and take some different coping skills away and seek help if you need it, and continue to work on yourself.
My message is stop beating kids like they're runaway slaves.
Yeah, work on your parenting too. That's another one that a big one that you could do is if you're going to have kids or if you already have kids, work on being a better parent to your kids and not having them around domestic violence or demeaning them with emotional abuse by talking down to them or yelling at them.
And if you was a hoe, your mama was a hoe too. Don't be mad that your daughter is getting the traits from both of y'all.
And maybe you can embrace it. I mean, a lot of women are embracing that side of them these days. It's profitable, and it's
start an
freeing.
OnlyFans, goddammit, and let me manage it.
There's so many possibilities that you can take with this that doesn't have to be negative and potentially take years off of your life. Like, do something to be different and just change the whole cycle of abuse that we are used to and just that is out there in society, because we all see it. Like, I know that even if you didn't experience this, y'all know somebody that did. So pass this podcast along to them and maybe they'll be inspired to get some help, because we all need a little something.
And buy Bitcoin.
Buy Bitcoin.
No, I'm just playing. Well, yeah, buy Bitcoin.
They actually saying Bitcoin ain't worth it.
No, it's worth it.
Cryptocurrency is a new thing. Are they the same thing?
They are the same thing.
I guess they are the same thing.
So all that. Buy it all. Buy NFTs. Become rich. Buy a Maserati or a Bugatti.
Actually, go electric. Save the world.
Version. You're not there to save this world. We're all doomed.
Okay.
All right.
We're not all doomed. There's hope, I believe.
All right.
We don't want to end on a positive note today,
no,
I see.
People should know that we are doomed.
If you think so.
That's it. God damn it. Episode 3.